we got married. But just jumping back a year before that, probably a bit more than a year before that, I felt a bit of an unsettling in my life. Terry and I were friends, but we never dated, and we've actually known each other for over 20 years. And Terry moved away. We were both in the same church, so we met many years ago. And about 10 years ago, 10 and a half, Terry gave me an invitation and asked me if I'd like to join him at a very special place called Buckingham Palace, which actually turned into our first date. It was the Queen's Garden Party. And I felt a bit of an unsettling. I was working in a particular position as a recruitment consultant, and I know God had opened the door for me to be there, but I knew it was just for a season. And so I was praying about what the next season was in God, and there's a lot more to this story, but I'm going to keep it shorter tonight. But I ended up going down to Surrey. I lived in Rotherham, Sheffield, worked in Leeds. I was worship leader in Leeds at the time, but working in Sheffield. And I just knew it was right to take time out, because the Lord was drawing Terry and I together. But when you've been friends with someone, it's a little bit awkward, isn't it, where you think, is this God? Is this not God? But you can't live 200 miles away from somebody, and you need to be where they are. So Terry was chief exec of the YMCA, and I came down to Surrey to do some voluntary work. But in that process, I needed somewhere to live. And I never really thought too much about it. I knew it was right for me to go, and Terry was in charge of finding me somewhere to live. So he was looking at the YMCAs, and time was coming closer for me to be there, and nothing had come at all. No accommodation. So I was planned to be there for 3 months. He'd sent emails out to churches. He'd sent different things out. No one had come back at all. And he was just composing an email to the Guildford YMCA, because they had accommodation. He didn't, because it was a new pioneering work. And just then his telephone rang. And often his telephone wouldn't ring because there were people to take calls on reception, but his phone rang. And it was a particular lady who lived in Woking answering his advert to, you're looking for somewhere for someone to live. He said, yes, I am actually. A lady's coming down 3 months. Well, we'd like to offer our home, which was 5 minutes walk from the YMCA in Woking, completely free of charge for 3 months. A Christian couple. And just God's provision. You know, where sometimes we don't want to go somewhere, we don't want to make a decision and go because we want everything before we go. You look at the Old Testament, look at Abraham. God just said, go. He had no clue where he was going, did he, at all? You know, I think, I was just talking to some of the ladies beforehand. I'm a kind of person that I don't do spontaneity. I want to be spontaneous. I can't say it now. To be spontaneous, I want to know in advance. Which sort of defeats the object, but yeah, I don't like surprises. I want to know what's going on. Anybody else like that? Yes, half the women in the room, yes. That's interesting. So I just wanted to say really that we serve a God that Abraham, as he was asked to offer his son as an offering, that he called God Jehovah Jireh, that he's our provider. But it also means he's the God who sees and the God who sees to it. So when God says he's Jehovah Jireh, he's not saying, that he will just do it, he's actually prepared something. He's the God who sees and the God who sees to it. We say that sometimes, don't we? Oh, I'll see to that. You leave that. I'll do that. So how much more would God, who loves us, who's so great and mighty and powerful, why do we find it so difficult sometimes to say that God will provide in an area? But he wants to provide. And I just wanted to... Another scripture that actually, when I went down to Surrey, this is a scripture that God gave me, is from Isaiah 65, verse 24. So I just want to read that. It says, I will answer them before they even call to me. While they are still talking to me about their needs, I will go ahead and answer their prayers. I love that. Is that even before we have a need, God is already in our future answering that prayer. The scripture says that we have not because we ask not, or we ask amiss. But sometimes we don't even ask God. We just think, oh no, he's too busy. He's not too busy. He wants to hear. If you've got a need, ask and believe. Come in faith. That's what we need to do that. Because if not, we won't get it. So we've got to believe that God is going to do it.